Back to another episode of Chip Theory. Today we'll be discussing the key of F Phrygian. You can see here the note F on the left of our group of chips laid out here in chromatic fashion from F on the left to an E on the right. Of course, F lies on the left side of the group of three black chips or keys, and E is just to the right of a group of two. Again, we have 12 chips laid out here. 12 uniquely identifiable notes on the keyboard until we reach our octave, which is a duplicate F up here at the top. Again, that would be our 13th chip, and there are going to be 12 intervals between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 half steps until we reach that duplicate chip, or the duplicate note of F. Now, in order to reach our F Phrygian mode, we're going to be discussing Phrygian today, which is the third mode of the major scale. The third mode of the major scale starts on the third degree of a major scale and cycles through the notes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the root or tonic, and then the note 2 from a major scale. So there's a pattern for that, which is simply the major scale mode inversed or reversed. So if we say our major scale pattern going downwards, we've reached our Phrygian mode scale pattern. And that pattern is a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So that is the major scale formula we're going to use today for Phrygian mode. It's simply the major scale formula descending, or an inverse. So another important thing to realize when we're determining our Phrygian mode, starting on F, is what key our F is going to be, our F Phrygian scale is going to be relative to for the major mode. So we can simply take the F at the top and count down 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we reach this note here. Here's our D flat, or C sharp, or D flat note. And that is the key that our F Phrygian scale will be derived from. And since we know there are 12 half steps in the interval, if D flat is 4 below F in this direction, if we take the F below, there's going to be 8 half steps to the same note to reach 12 half steps total for the octave. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here's D flat or C sharp again. Okay, so realizing these two things, we know that the D flat scale has 5 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. So we could simply play that scale starting on the F to reach our F Phrygian mode, or we can use the formula of whole and half steps from the major scale inverse, which is what I'm going to do now. So we have, again, our pattern was half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole. So we have here our first half step, half. Now we need a series of 3 whole steps, whole, whole, and whole. Here's our half step to the relative major, the D flat. Again, the relative major always falls on the 6th note of the Phrygian scale. So we had a half, whole, 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 half. Now we need another 2 whole steps. Here's our whole step. And then our final whole step is here back to F, from E flat to F. Again, this is not a unique note. This is our duplicate note from our keynote up an octave. So we can remove the notes that are not in the F Phrygian mode. And again, the major scale pattern. Now when I say the major scale, it's the pattern I'm referring to, not necessarily the notes. When you play this descending, it won't sound like a major scale because you're on Phrygian. It's going to sound like the pattern of a major scale, which is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. When we play this ascending from the octave below up, this is our Phrygian mode. Half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole. Okay, so the scale will not sound like the major scale when you play the Phrygian in inverse. However, the pattern is the same. So it's just an easy way to remember the pattern. Again, we're left here with our notes of the major scale. A relative major was here, D flat on the 6th degree. So we have the notes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root, and 2 of D flat major. Again, it's easy to see that we have an F major scale. If we look at this as F major, this note is F. We've flatted these 4 pitches to reach F Phrygian, the 2 degree, the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th note, starting on F, if we compare this to F major. So we've taken a G and flatted it to G flat. We've taken the A from F major and flatted it to A flat. These 2 notes are unaltered, the B flat and C. The D natural from F major has been flatted to D flat, and the E note from F major has been flatted to E flat. Again, this being a relative major, we could move these 2 pitches here to this side, and this is going to give you the D flat major scale. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, and C. And if we number these pitches, we have 1 is D flat, 2 is E flat, 3 is F, 4 is G flat, 5 is A flat, 6 is B flat, and 7 is C. And when we move back to our Phrygian position here, it's easy to see now that we have our pitches using those scale degrees from the relative major. The 3 note, 4 F, 4 G flat, 5 A flat, 6 B flat, 7 C, or root or 1 is D flat, and the 2 E flat. Given this, we can realize or recognize our triads from this F Phrygian scale as the one triad being this, built from the notes 3, 5, and 7 of D flat major, which are F, A flat, and C, which forms a minor triad. Our second triad of Phrygian is this: 4, 6, and root from the relative major scale, or G flat, B flat, D flat, which is major. Again, this is on the flat 2 chord from our Phrygian mode, and G flat major triad. The third one is this: 5, 7, 2 from D flat, which is A flat, C, and E flat, which is major. Our fourth triad is this: the 6, root, 3 from D flat major, B flat, D flat, and F, which is minor. B flat, D flat, F is minor on our fourth note. Alright, this position here is the 5 chord of F Phrygian. It's going to be a diminished triad, starting on the 7th note of D flat, 7, 2, and 4, C, E flat, and G flat is diminished. This is our relative major triad, starting on D flat, the root, third, and the fifth, D flat, F, and A flat, which is major. And lastly, our triad built on this degree is the 2, 4, 6 triad, E flat, G flat, and B flat, which is minor. Again, our chord qualities of the Phrygian mode in this position are minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major, and minor. Okay, so now we can build 7 chords using alternating scale tones. Starting here on the first position of F Phrygian, we're going to have F, A flat, C, and E flat. Again, this is the scale tones 3, 5, 7, 2 from a relative major, D flat, 3, 5, 7, and 2, or an F minor 7. Again, we have 1 plus 2s on the minor thirds here, 1 plus 2 in this position. Here we have the flat 2, 4, 6 root third, or B flat, D flat, I'm sorry, G flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, and F. This is our flat 2 major 7 chord built from the 4th, 6th, root, 3rd of our D flat major scale. There's going to be a 2 plus 1 interval here on this 4, 3, 4 spacing, starting on G flat. Here we have a flat 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, which is always dominant. Those scale degrees for major, 5, 7, 2, and 4, form a dominant 7. It's going to be A flat, C, E flat, and G flat. Again, the dominant 7 has a minor third atop a major triad. Our spacing is going to be 4, 3, and 3. It's going to have a 1 plus 2 here and a 2 plus 1 here on our third chord of F Phrygian. Our fourth chord of Phrygian was a minor 7, 6 root 3, 5 from D flat. It's going to be B flat minor, B flat, D flat, F, and A flat. This is a minor 7, a 3, 4, 3 spacing. However, this particular position for B flat minor 7 is different, slightly different than the minor 7 in the first position, in that it has a 2 plus 1 on the bottom minor third and a 1 plus 2 for the top. Again, that's a slight difference based on the scale degrees. This being the 6 root 3, 5 position, it's going to have a slightly different quality. The minor third can either be a 2 plus 1 or a 1 plus 3 to reach 3 half steps based on the position in the scale. This one has a 2 plus 1 here and a 1 plus 2 here. This one has 1 plus 2s here and here. Okay, your dominant 7 has 1 plus 2 here and a 2 plus 1 here, and this major 7 has a 2 plus 1 here. Alright, the 5 chord is 7, 2, 4, 6 from D flat major. It's going to be the C, E flat, G flat, and B flat. Again, this is a half diminished form. The 7, 2, 4, 6 is always half diminished. In this case, it's going to be C half diminished, C, E flat, G flat, and B flat, which has a 3-3-4 spacing with a 1+2 here and a 2+1 minor third here. Our sixth chord was the relative major, E flat, root 3rd, 5th, 7th from D flat major is D flat, F, A flat, and C. And this is a major 7, 4-3-4 spacing with a 1+2 in the middle here. Our 7 chord is 2-4-6 root, E flat, G flat, B flat, and D flat. Again, the 7th position chord is always a minor 7 in Phrygian. It's going to be a 3-4-3 spacing with 2+1 intervals here and here, which is different from the 1+2s in this position, and the minor 7 in this chord has one of each, 2+1 and a 1+2 on the top. So here is our chords of F Phrygian. You can see along the second row of thirds we have the Phrygian, the Mixolydian mode, starting on the 5 degree of D flat, 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, and 4. On the thirds up here we have the Locrian mode, starting on C, the 7 root, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of D flat. And on the top mode, we have the Dorian mode, starting on E flat, or the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root of D flat. So those are all modes as well. If we look at those patterns in inverse, we have the Phrygian, the Mixolydian mode across this row, but going descending, the pattern, not necessarily the notes, but the pattern is going to be Aeolian, whole, half, whole, half, whole. The Locrian mode going downward is your Lydian mode, which is whole, half, whole, half. And of course the Dorian mode is the same going up as it is going down. It's whole, half, whole, half, whole. So all the patterns exist within the Phrygian mode if you look at the pattern ascending and descending based on each note of your 7th chords. Of course, we know the major scale pattern is descending on the first row here, so it's whole, half, whole, half. Okay, let's talk about the inversions of these chords. For F Phrygian, we have the first chord is minor. Again, this is very similar to the Aeolian, except where you have this flat 2 note, the G flat. Our inversions here are going to be a minor 7. We're going to, assuming the scale degrees will not change and that we know them, we're going to start with our interval qualities for our inversions. Here's a 3-4-3 position, F minor 7. When we invert this, it gives us a 4-3-2 starting on A flat, C, E flat, F, to our 3-2-3 inversion starting on C, E flat, F, A flat, to a 2-3-4 position starting on E flat, F, A flat, C. Coming down is C, A flat, F, E flat, A flat, F, E flat, C, F, E flat, C, A flat, and E flat, C, A flat, F, for 1 minor 7 chord. Our flat 2 chord for Phrygian is going to be the G flat major 7, G flat, B flat, D flat, F, We raise our G flat. We have the 3-4-1 position starting on B flat, D flat, F, G flat, to our 4-1-4 for major sevens, starting on D flat. It's D flat, F, G flat, B flat, to a 1-4-3 starting on F, G flat, B flat, D flat. Coming down is D flat, B flat, G flat, F, B flat, G flat, F, D flat, G flat, F, D flat, B flat, and F, D flat, B flat, G flat. For a flat 3 dominant 7, we had the A flat dominant, A flat, C, E flat, G flat, which is a 4-3-3 position. When we invert this, we have our 3-3-2 position starting on C, E flat, G flat, A flat, to a 3-2-4 position starting on E flat, G flat, A flat, C, to a 2-4-3 position starting on G flat, A flat, C, and E flat. Coming down is E flat, C, A flat, G flat, C, A flat, G flat, E flat, A flat, G flat, E flat, C, and G flat, E flat, C, A flat. Our fourth chord of F Phrygian was a minor 7, 3-4-3, starting on B flat, D flat, F, A flat. When we invert it, we have a 4-3-2 position, starting on D flat, F, A flat, B flat, or 3-2-3, starting on F, A flat, B flat, D flat, to the 2-3-4, starting on A flat, B flat, D flat, and F. Coming down is F, D flat, B flat, A flat, D flat, B flat, A flat, F, B flat, A flat, F, D flat, and A flat, F, D flat, B flat. Our 5 chord was a C half diminished, or C minor 7 with the flat 5, or G flat. It's going to be a 3-3-4 position, C, E flat, G flat, B flat. When we invert this, we have a 3-4-2 starting on E flat, G flat, B flat, C, or 4-2-3 starting on G flat, B flat, C, E flat, to our 2-3-3 position starting on B flat, C, E flat, G flat. Coming down is G flat, E flat, C, B flat, E flat, C, B flat, G flat, C, B flat, G flat, E flat, and B flat, G flat, E flat, C. Our 6th position is a flat 6 major 7. This is our relative major, starting on D flat, F, A flat, and C. It's a 4-3-4 position. When we invert it, we have a 3-4-1 starting on F, A flat, C, D flat, to a 4-1-4 starting on A flat, C, D flat, and F, to our 1-4-3, C, D flat, F, A flat. Coming down is A flat, F, D flat, C, F, D flat, C, A flat, D flat, C, A flat, F, and C, A flat, F, D flat, major 7. Finally, our 7th chord is going to be the E flat minor 7, E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat, 3-4-3, to our 4-3-2 position starting on G flat, B flat, D flat, E flat, to our 3-2-3 starting on B flat, D flat, E flat, G flat, to our 2-3-4 starting on D flat, E flat, G flat, B flat. Coming down is B flat, G flat, E flat, D flat, G flat, E flat, D flat, B flat, E flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, B flat, G flat, excuse me, and D flat, B flat, G flat, E flat. Again, the chords are F minor 7, a flat 2, G flat major 7, a flat 3, A flat dominant, a flat 4, B flat minor 7, a 5, C half diminished, our flat 6, D flat major 7, and our flat 7, E flat minor 7. And those are your chords of F Phrygian.